Hola, bom dia. Carl Monson here with the Good Morning Portugal show on expatsportugal.com. It's great to be here on this. Let me just get the Portuguese vocab up on the screen. And I didn't get a challenge to this yesterday, so I'll assume that my pronunciation and how I've set this up is fairly correct. If that's not a contradiction in terms, fairly correct. Here we go. Quarta-feira, dia 2 de dezembro. Some people are calling this winter already, aren't they? Because it's December. Shouldn't we wait till the solstice before we call it winter? Anyway, I'll just do the weather quickly. We have a wonderful guest this morning, and I was just panicking because I didn't know how to pronounce the name correctly. It's Aoife Brewster. But I'll get the absolute right pronunciation on that, on my Irish and my Portuguese in today's show. So I should have checked that before. I'm so sorry. But we'll come and speak to Aoife Brewster in just a moment. The author of The Art of Unwinding and a therapist based in the Alvazara area of Portugal. So we'll find out a little bit about that part of central Portugal. We've got quite a few pals around that area, haven't we, in central Portugal? She does some really amazing stuff over that way, and I think will be a calming balm to our souls and minds this morning. But let's take a quick look at the weather before we do that and have a nice chat this morning. We are looking at the capital first, where it's 10 degrees and clear, a cloudy day. Actually, the rain's been pushed back a bit by the look of it. It was a lovely day yesterday, wasn't it? And we are looking at, it was the holiday only yesterday. Crikey, yeah, I did another show last night with Donna Jacqueline, the grandmother of our community. So it seemed like another day, but it was only the holiday yesterday, wasn't it? 1st of December. I'm pleased to tell you that the good weather that we had yesterday, or certainly I did in this part of the country, continues today, albeit a little bit cloudy. And this is in the capital now. And a lovely sunny day to look forward to tomorrow with a high of 16 degrees. And then the rain is likely to come in on Friday. In Porto this morning, 9 degrees and mostly cloudy. And you're looking at 14 degrees and rainy tomorrow. So the rain is coming into Porto tomorrow. Coimbra, 6 degrees, a little bit chilly in central Portugal at the moment. A little bit cloudy too. That's likely to continue today with a high of 18. And some rain coming in tomorrow. Down in the south, Faro, 12 degrees and clear at the moment. 2 lovely days ahead today and tomorrow, and then a little bit of rain on Friday, and then a cloudy Saturday, and the rain returns on Sunday. That's the forecast so far for the next few days here in Portugal. Ordinarily, I would take a quick look at the news as well, but it doesn't seem right to keep my guest waiting this morning. So here she is. Let's first of all say good morning to you and get your name right. Please teach me how to say your name correctly.
Good morning, Carl. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
So it's pronounced Aoife. It's an Irish name.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. My first guess, until I got scared, was Aoife, but Aoife is the right pronunciation. Okay, so yeah. I'm glad we got that sorted out. Beautiful Irish name. Lovely to have you here. How is it in central Portugal, Alvazara, for you this morning?
Yeah, like you said, it's going to be a lovely sunny day, I think, today. Yeah, after the rain at the weekend. Yeah, it's good.
Yes, indeed. Are you a gardener?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! A happy homesteader. So you're not afraid of a bit of rain every now and then?
Oh no, love it. It reminds you of home, doesn't it? Like, I'm from Ireland.
Yes, of course. Yes, it's second nature, isn't it? Oh, the rain for Irish people, fantastic. I've got a few hellos already this morning for you. Paolo Simoes is saying bon dia. Jim McDonald over there in Germany. Bon dia tudo. De frio y nublado, Wiesbaden. Oh, a cold and nublado. Cloudy. Oh, well done. Your Portuguese is good. Over there in Wiesbaden, says Jim. In Germany, doing it in Portuguese, very good, Jim. And Safiro, our pal up in Porto, Portugal, who is our resident Portuguese bloke who tunes in with all sorts of Portuguese cultural insights, and we're very glad of it. Joel Safiro is up there in Porto for us this morning. Morning neighbour, says Gary Austin, another friend of the show and a friend of yours by the sound of it. Druba in Sintra saying bon dia, fellows. That's very nice, isn't it, to be called a fellow? Very posh. Good morning to you, Druba. Hopes all is going well on your happy homestead there in Sintra. Sorry, another one. Bon dia, my dear. Happy birthday to the love of my life. Well, what's the name of the love of your life, Sean? Let's wish a parabéns to the love of your life this morning. And great to have you both here this morning. We are talking primarily, aren't we, about the Art of Unwinding this morning, Aoife, your book that you've written. Can you tell us a bit about that and what prompted you to do such a thing? Well, we've got an hour of a signal, I think, there.
Can you hear me?
I can again now. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I'm an outcome-based therapist, which means that you come to me with chronic pain and I will do my best to get you out of pain and teach you how to manage your chronic pain. So yeah, come through my various treatment. Okay, this muscle today, this is your exercise, this is your stretch, and this is why you have the pain. The book's laid out in such a way that you've got these muscular pain patterns at the top, and then you've got the stretch and explain. So it's very good for therapists as well to explain to their clients what they've done within that treatment. It's really to give people a good understanding of what's going on with their soft tissues. I'm not an osteopath, but I also believe that if you treat the soft tissue, everything else will fall into place, because it's the muscles and the myofascia and everything that's pulling the bones out of place. Generally, we're talking about 70% of people this book is aimed for. There's people that have very different pathologies that you can't generalize, okay, and they're more serious. So with my book, I'll just read the contents if you want to. You've got your introduction, the fascia. I don't know if you know what the fascia is.
No, tell us. I trained in a bit of massage therapy myself, but I think it's a word that people are hearing more and more, but might not necessarily know what it is. So can you give us an introduction to that?
So the subtext of my book is called "The Secrets of Fascia from Pain to Relief." Okay. So myofascia is, I'll try and break it down. So if you imagine you've got your biceps muscles here on your arm, yeah? So the tissues go like this. So every muscle and every tendon, even every nerve, has a myofascial sheath around it. So even I could break it down into like an orange. You know, in orange, you've got the belly of the orange, and then you've got that little thin skin around it.
Yes.
That's what fascia is.
Okay.
And myofascia means muscle fascia. Yeah, the myo bit means muscle. And within the myofascia around that particular muscle has got more nerve endings in it than the actual muscle itself. So the muscles stretch and contract. That's their function. But it's the fascia that pulls things out of place, and it's got that fight and flight response. So when you do that, it's the fascia that tightens up. When you see someone with one shoulder higher, it could be coming from the hips. So it's all about balancing the hips. Trying to get myself in the camera. So you might have a forward tilt, a backwards tilt, sideward tilt. And if you can release the fascia, then you'll go into the muscles and into trigger points, which I can talk about them. They're what people assume are knots, really. And you get passive trigger points and active trigger points. Active trigger points are the ones that I would refer to with these predictable muscular pain patterns. So they're the ones you press them. I do lots of tennis ball work with my home help for people, and then you'll feel, say for example, you put the tennis ball in here and you think, oh God, it's shooting right up to my neck. I can feel that in my neck. That's an active trigger point. That's what's causing you pain. The other thing with fascia work is it's very different. You don't use oil at all. You can use a little bit of water. You can use a water-based cream, and it's not a heavy treatment. It's not, because the fascia is over the muscle. So if you're going really heavy, you're going into the muscle. And then once you open up the fascia, you can get into the muscle and teach people how to stretch it. It's a very different treatment. You've got direct fascial work and indirect fascial work. It all comes from Rolfing. I don't know if you know.
Yes, I have heard of Rolfing. Yeah, absolutely. These are amazing therapies that have been around for decades, aren't they?
Yeah. Ida Rolf's amazing. And it's about looking at the whole body rather than going, oh, that person's come in with lower back pain. Oh, I'll just look at that little bit. It's looking at, oh, hang on, where are their shoulders? And some of them your erector spinae muscles start at the occiput and go right down to your sacrum. So if you're looking at a tiny little area, you're not looking at the whole picture. So what else is in my book? My contents. I got as far as fascia. That's the second thing. So what to expect from a clinical massage therapist, and I've kind of explained about the layers and why you need like this 6 treatments, because to get down to where your pain could be, like I've used in my book, for example, the glute muscles, they're big, they're chunky, and the one that might be causing the pain might be right down by the bone. So in treatment 1, you're going to get to know the person, you're going to work the fascia, then you're going to get a bit deeper in the second one. By the 3rd treatment, you should be seeing a really big reduction in your pain.
Okay, cool.
And then it's all about just getting the posture and keeping it in place. And then the person has to take on that healing by doing their yoga, by doing their fitness, by maintaining themselves. We can't do everything. My intention as a therapist is not that you're coming back all the time. I do want to get you to a place where you're out of pain, you're managing yourself, you're doing your mobility, you're doing your stretching, you're doing some fitness. And it doesn't need to be a lot. And especially I find here in Portugal where we are, a lot of people are retired. I know there's a lot of working people. There's a lot of people retired and they go, we don't have time for it. No. You do have time for it. You've more time for it.
Well, I mean, I was going to say about that, in the expat community, we do have some, how do we describe it best? Some aging folks who are knocking on a bit. And this is a really good time to take more care of your body, isn't it? And address those things where, when you really don't have time, I guess, is when you're working, right, or raising a family, and you might be forgiven for taking some first aid in the form of pharmaceuticals. When you retire, I would have thought you do have a bit more time, don't you, to address those persistent aches and pains and get to the root of it or the cause of it, rather than just cover it up with a paracetamol or other analgesics are available. But it now's the time, isn't it, as well, to get into some good habits for older age as well, and a bit more flexibility and movement.
The people that I treat, like I don't know if you know, I work up at Jason Vale's Juice Master Retreat.
Oh, do you? No. The funny thing is, I did a radio show years ago in Exeter, and Jason gave us a juice recipe one morning on the show. This is like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. But so he's settled in Portugal now, is he?
He's up in Dornish. Do you know it? Dornish?
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. Dornish is beautiful, isn't it?
He's been there for 9 years, and this is why. He's actually, I can read out his recommendation in my book for me. He's actually written in it as well. Because I actually brought myofascial work to his retreat. In Portugal. There's a team of 7 of us. And then the other girls learned myofascial work. And now there's 3 of us that do it up there. He's also building another place in the Algarve at the moment. He's got a place in Turkey as well. So he's getting bigger. But so that's a really fabulous. It's a really amazing place to work.
I'm sure. Yeah, what a legend he is. I mean, he was right at the forefront, wasn't it? When juicing was. I mean, we take it for granted now, don't we? You can buy ready-made juices in supermarkets, but there was a time when smoothies and juices were a bit weird. I think not so long ago.
It's all NutriBullets now.
Of course it is. Yeah, absolutely. So then
we got to what to expect from a clinical massage therapist. Then we've got thinking through your options. Then we've got trigger points and predictable pain patterns, which I've explained a whole little chapter about. Then we've got treatment sessions. Then I talk a little bit about hot and cold therapy, hydrotherapy. Then I explain about stretching, strengthening, mobilization, general advice, cautions. And then from page 29 to page 70, it's all about the neck and shoulders, stretching and self-therapy, arms, lower back, hips. And that goes into diagrams, which actually I'd love to say my husband did the diagrams. So we've got about 30. I've got these, I've made posters, so it's easy for people at home.
Yeah.
And actually, I'd like to say I actually crowdfunded it in the first.
We were talking about that last night. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the posters that way. The posters is one for stretching, one for strengthening, and one for mobilization, because I realised that I realised that flipping through the book trying to do it is quite awkward, isn't it? So I thought, well, if I've got these posters, then people can focus on what they need to do.
So for 1 minute, for just going back then to this idea of, you know, getting older and having aches and pains, because, you know, people do tend to sort of put up with it, don't they? And I heard an expression, I don't know, the last couple of years where someone said, oh, old age, it never comes alone. And that's a reference, isn't it, to all these aches and pains. But I don't think people do need to put up with quite as much as they put up with, right? It's a matter of sort of changing your ideas around, isn't it, as much as anything else?
Consistency with it, because I think people's go-to, some people love yoga, some people love fitness. Yeah. And there's also that mindset of this retiredness, you know, your kids. I get the whole thing of your kids grow up and you need a bit of time to change and adjust, you know. But adjusting should be doing more fitness, doing more walking, swimming, whatever it is that grabs you.
Yes.
And the yoga, but you need a fine balance of both. It's like, because some people like I'm the sort of person, I need fitness. No, I find fitness a challenge because I love yoga. That's my easy go-to thing, you know. So for me, doing the fitness, but when I'm especially up at Jason's, what I see is a lot of people are very fit, and I can really see a big difference between the people that I treat that live here in Portugal to the ones that I treat up at the retreat. And
really,
most of them, and if I've met 70-year-olds that do fitness 4 times a week, and they've got really solid, good muscles, because you've got to think. You've got your structure, which is your bones. And as we get older, this is like the padding, you know, we need to support our bones.
Yes.
Yeah. And you get, I notice a lot of the people here, they're either a little bit overweight or they haven't got that substance to their muscles. They haven't got that strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, and you don't want to be like that. You need to, and it doesn't take loads. It doesn't take a lot of fitness, like 2 half-hour sessions a week, but it will take a little bit of time to get there.
Incredible. We've got a question. Look, up to the 4th level on the scaffolding now. Gary is testing his and his brother's fitness by painting the house. Plenty of aches and pains. Where can we get the book, please? Where is it available?
Okay, so if you're in the local area, you can get it off myself, but it's on my website as well, which is theartofunwinding.com.
That's such a good name for a website. Because when you first approached us to talk about the book, I was thinking it was going to be like a meditation book or more focused on the mind. Do people often assume that?
I suppose most of the people I've been contacting know me.
Yeah.
It's like, no, so yeah.
They're not going to make that assumption. Have I got it right on the screen there? It's got the word fun in it as well, which is good, isn't it?
That's brilliant, isn't it?
It is. That works really well. The Art of Unwinding. So not so much the mental, because that's what everyone's talking about at the moment. That's what I thought I might be asking you this morning. You know, we're in these challenging times of the pandemic. People are, you know, there is this assumption that there may be a struggle with mental health, and for some people there is. This is so good, isn't it? Because actually, a really good way of relaxing without trying to take on your mind is through the body, isn't it? So I'm loving this physical approach. I mean, which I guess it's safe to call it primarily a physical approach that you're.
No, totally. But the myofascia is very much connected to emotions. Like, say you've been in a car accident, or what can I use as an example without? So, say a lady I've treated once had an accident. When she was 18, she'd come to see me like 20 years later.
Wow.
And she'd had a normal treatment with me. And then she said, I would really like you to look at my knee, because I don't know why, but it's been giving me jip for 20 odd years. And I don't know, she couldn't pick a point where she damaged it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, come on. And I'm just, like I said, my fascia is very gentle. And people start crying because the emotions come out. The emotions they say the emotions are stuck in, get stuck in the body. Yes. It's not in the muscles, it's in the myofascia.
Okay.
And I've even had these experiences myself where you just start crying, you don't know, and then you just feel lighter. You feel lighter after it.
Amazing. That is amazing. So in a way, it's like our armor, isn't it, in life? You know, the slings and arrows of life come into the myofascia, and unless they're pulled out, It's like having an arrow stuck in your suit of armor, isn't it?
Yeah. Let me go back to that lady, because I didn't finish that story. And then in the middle of the treatment, she started crying, and I said, "Well, do you want me to stop?" And she said, "No, keep going, but I know what happened." And I said, "Okay." And she just started talking, and she said, "Well, I got attacked when I went out when I was 18." And what she remembered was when they went to take her bag, the impact, fell onto her knee.
Wow.
But with all the commotion of police and blah, 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 what happened after, nobody gave any attention to her knee, and it just got forgotten about. It didn't have a bruise or anything, but her emotional element of that attack went into her knee. And it was over 20 years later that she managed to resolve that.
Incredible. So there's another thing we can look forward to in retirement, or as expats, unwinding in the new country. You could deal with all your unresolved emotional issues as well.
Yes, you have to be prepared to let them go as well. Sometimes it just happens. And different people are different. Some people, one thing happens in the day and they get really tight, but they quite often can get really loose very quickly as well. Whereas other people are a little bit more ploddy, and it kind of builds up and builds up. But they're the kind of people that would take me a longer time to resolve and get into the emotional element of it. Like I said, everyone's different. It's not one fix for all.
And presumably you don't have to address the emotions. It can be done very physically on that superficial level. I don't mean that in a bad way, but on the outside level.
Yeah, like I'm not a psychologist, so I don't get into that element of it. But I wanted to really specialize in what I do. I also do a bit of Reiki, and I do reflexology as well. And that,
Fabulous.
I love,
all right. Tony's saying good morning from Pakistan this morning. Good morning, all.
Oh, wow.
Hello, mate. Yeah, we have people from all over the world tuning in. Sorry got to go a bit. Your excuse, Safira. We'll see you later. But thank you for your attendance this morning. Yeah, what else do you want to tell us about your work and what you do? I need to find out from you why you chose Alviazra and that part of central Portugal. When you came here, we need that sort of expat info as well.
Yes. Yeah. So my husband's actually English. I'm Irish. And when we met, he wanted to get out of the UK, basically. I had a very small child. And we had another one on the way. We didn't have a lot of money. We tried looking into getting a house in the UK in Brighton, and we just would have afforded a council house with, box bedrooms. He's a builder, so our intention was that we would come here with our bit of money we had, buy an old ruin, do it up, sell it, and go back to the UK. That didn't happen. The latter part of the I still go back for work. I sometimes work in a clinic in Harley Street in London, and I go back and do different, different things. But that's all. That's and so the kids were 8 months old and 3 when we got here, and we lived in caravans, and we built up the ruin. We did that for about 3 years, and then finally built a treatment room. He works here constantly, so he's here all the time with the kids. They're now 14 and 17.
Wow.
So they're fluent in Portuguese. They went to Alviazra school. So the younger one went to creche in Alviazra. The older one went to Jardim Infância. And then they got to last year. So I'm Irish, so 10th year is really good in Ireland. It's so she did a thing they call equivalencia. Have you heard of it? Oh, right, okay. And so she went and did half a year in Ireland where they do work experience and they prepare them for life. And that was absolutely amazing. Now she's come back into 11th year. But I've moved them both to Anciao School because it's partly one, there's really good acrobatics. Really, really good. They do it 3 times a week. I don't know if you know that. It took me a while to source it. But my younger one loves it. And they do national level. They do like proper competitions. I've done physio for the Portuguese for the acrobatics as well.
Amazing.
I've also, I don't think you know, I did Bombeiros as well. I did the Bombeiros for nearly 5 years in Alviazra.
Did you? Incredible. That for everyone who doesn't know you. So you joined the local volunteer firefighter service.
Yeah, I only specifically to do the ambulance. I always wanted to be a paramedic. That's kind of one of my little things. So I did the training. That's why my Portuguese is probably quite good, because it's all in Portuguese.
Yeah, of
and
course.
you had to, at the time, I'm 42 now, but at the time you had to enter before you were 35. And I entered when I was 34. And I said to them, I said, I don't think my Portuguese is good enough. And they said, no, but you've got to enter now, and that's fine. And they were really helpful, which is where I've met a lot of friends, a lot of Portuguese friends. And wonderful. I still work up in Jason's retreat with an osteopath who did all the training with me, the Bomberos, and we're good friends.
Incredible. What a lovely story of integration, and really giving something to the country as well. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Talking of the Bomberos, it's not only the retired group, it's the builders and gardeners, firefighters who need this sort of work, by the sound of it, says Mark. As a massage therapist in the Penella area, I've seen a lot of these kinds of injuries. It seems to vary from area to area. So I guess the local character has its local set of injuries as well. And I do see a lot of people walking around. Maybe it's the slightly gouty nature of the diet here. It's quite acidic, isn't it? So people do seem to walk in quite a stout and gouty way, and presumably there is a way of unwinding from that as well.
No, definitely.
As well as to change your diet a little bit, of buying your book.
I'm not going to advise on diet. That's not.
No, no one listens anyway. And look, Mark, as well, I've heard how good Aoife is. So there you go.
Thank you, Mark.
Lovely. So Central Portugal, it was for you then. You didn't go back. I mean, is that a move you would recommend to others? I mean, presumably in some ways you might miss Brighton in the UK, but you seem perfectly happy here, and you've raised 2 kids here.
Yeah. Have I lost you?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Would you recommend the move to Portugal, and specifically Central Portugal? So we might be having a bit of trouble with our line here. I'll check again.
Yeah.
Portugal, Central Portugal. Would you recommend that part of the country? And generally speaking, would you recommend the move to this lifestyle?
I would 100% recommend it. And this is the first year. Like, obviously, I to and fro quite a lot. And this is the most amount of time, obviously, because of COVID and everything what's going on. That I've spent here, and I feel really extremely grateful to be here. I feel, it was the right decision, and I feel really sorry for people in like high-rise flats and things like that in the UK.
Yeah,
definitely the right place to be. Like, I've got a sauna here. The whole time when we didn't know about what was going. Can you hear me?
I can now. Yeah, we're good now.
Hello.
We're good.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard that you had a sauna, which sounds fantastic. If I can definitely hear you.
Hello?
Hello. We can hear you there. I don't know if we can hear you.
Hello.
We got you back now.
Yeah, you got me back. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, so we have a sauna here, which I'm eventually going to do spa days, but I'm just, I haven't got there yet. And when we didn't know what COVID was, I was expecting zombies to start coming out, we didn't know. My family like all them apocalypse films, and we were having saunas twice a week, doing the gardening. My life didn't change a lot. Obviously, I couldn't work for quite a while, which I've enjoyed the break, really, to be honest with you. Yeah. That's, also, I wanted to say with my book, because the crowdfunder did very well, I said I'd invest in a bit of branding and a little bit of admin and things like that, because I've just been a one-man band for years, and some products. So what I've got is magnesium salts, magnesium oils, heat pads, men people use and need in the book. I now actually have in this lovely little basket. So I've got magnesium oil, which is really good quality. It's from the Himalayas.
Fantastic.
Then we've got magnesium salts.
Yeah.
Like you said, I've got massage balm. And then I've got these spiky myofascial balls.
Okay. That's
you need tennis balls. Everyone needs tennis balls.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. So we were talking last night about starting a business. You've obviously done all of that here. And how did you find that?
That all the products you mean? Yeah, they're all being made locally by local people. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
That's really good
my
news.
aim.
and again, we can get these from
Yeah.
the artofunwinding.com, can we? So instead of going to Amazon, you could buy the book here and some of those products as a way of buying something that's been created in Portugal and supporting Portuguese business.
Yeah, yeah, and a nice Christmas present for someone to help them with their own health, you know.
With their health,
that's, yeah, I think it's right at the moment as well, with a lot of people working at home. You know, I think it's a really amazing thing to have.
Yeah, indeed. Now, something else I wanted to ask you. Gary's saying, yeah, go Alvaza, it's the place to be. Shame about our 4G transmitter. Yeah, we're okay, though. We're continuing a conversation, it would seem. You've been here, what, did you say about 17 years?
No, so that would be, so my eldest is 16, she was 3, so 13 years, probably. 13. The first 3 or 4 years we were on and off a lot because of working in the UK. He kept working, we both kept working. But then he's here fully and it's just me who goes back now.
Okay. And has Portugal changed a lot in that time?
There's a lot more people here. Yeah, there's a lot more people. I don't think it's changed that much, to be honest, and it's lovely. It's a nice pace of life, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Yeah, incredible. Okay, well that's wonderful to hear your kind of expat side of things, your expat story as well. So to conclude, then, can we give people? I mean, obviously they should buy the book and probably a few of your products as well. What would you say? We're getting to that time of year, aren't we, where we're talking about New Year's resolutions possibly. And I feel this myself. I definitely need to do more. I do some work, you know, around do a bit of building stuff around the homestead and work in the garden. But I really heard what you said there about, you know, doing more fitness sort of stuff. What sort of regimes would you be recommending to people, or what sort of new habits would you be recommending that people could get into for the new year, coming out of the COVID pandemic and how that's impacted us, but just for their own personal, you know, well-being and sense of health? What new habits might you suggest to people for the new year?
So I would recommend, there's a lot of stuff online now, because I know where we're living is very rural. A lot of the people that are listening locally, we don't have so much access to things. If people want to contact me directly, I don't mind advising. I've got various different yoga teachers that do lots of stuff online. Like I said, I've got some local ones, and not everyone will resonate with every person. I would suggest that you try a few. They're all doing taster sessions. Depending on your mobility, you know, if you are quite disabled, then be very careful. Like I said, I'm happy to talk to people if they need some advice. A good starter fitness would be Joe Wicks on YouTube. Have you heard of him?
No, Joe Wicks, was that?
Yeah, he did in the first lockdown. He's in England and he did loads and loads of fitness. But you just need body squats. I'm not talking about heavy weights, you know.
Okay.
I would suggest maybe 2 half-hour sessions of fitness a week. And put it in your diary. Make it your, you know, it's like that. Oh, I'm going to meet June for coffee. It's like, that's my fitness time. You know, you put it in your diary, because they won't do it. If you're over 50, book in a treatment once a month with whoever you know, your therapist in your area, and go find swimming, walking. Like, I have a whole list of things in here. Obviously, like I said, we're a bit limited to things. Like in England, you know, we could do Tai Chi and we could do this. Like I have in my book here is a whole list of things that there is available. And just try them out, you know. I would try a few yoga therapists, find one that resonates, and then at least do it once a week. At least once a week. 2 short fitness sessions a week, like 20 minutes, half an hour, and walking, swimming, some kind of mobility. That's what I'd try and make that your resolution for the year, New Year's resolution.
Fantastic. That sounds great. And
can I read out a couple of testimonials, Carl?
Of course you may. Absolutely, go for it.
Because the book's been going to therapists in the UK through internal groups, and a few of them wrote a couple of really lovely, absolutely gorgeous testimonials. This is from Ali Cook, and she's a therapist, because the school that I go to is one of the highest grade school. Like, I've got BTEC level 6 in clinical massage, and this is an internal group. It's called Jing Institute.
Oh yes, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Oh, have you heard of it? Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Okay, so I've done basically all of their courses and anatomy courses and all sorts. I'm a bit nerdy. I like anatomy. I am. So this is from Martine Benlow, therapist. Thank you, Aoife. Thank you, Aoife Brewster. This will be treasured and shared with my wonderful clients, family and friends. Such well-designed diagrams and so simply explained. A salute to you. Virtual hugs from London. I've got 4. So I've got Ali Cook. Aoife's book is a terrific addition to any therapist toolkit. Not only is it a real great reference book for stretching, strengthening, and mobilization when treating clients, but it's also accessible. I'm happy to recommend to clients to use it themselves. It's really easy to understand and puts things in straightforward terms. I'm finding it incredibly useful in my clinic to explain fascia to clients and how they can help themselves get out of pain with simple exercises. It just takes away some of the confusion of more technical books that gives the same information. It's just what I needed at this time when I'm doing online consultations and aftercare. And then we've got Alison Bailey. The book's arrived today. I haven't put it down. It's an easy read, easy to follow book. For thanks, I can't recommend it enough. Then we've got Jacqueline Stewart. She's another therapist. The book has arrived. It's brilliant. Well done. I will definitely be recommending this. So they were absolutely, I was really chuffed to get them. There was one other one I wanted to show you, but I'll have to.
Well, you mentioned there online consultations. I mean, presumably it's a nice trip out to come to Al-Wazra to see you for a treatment. Do you work online with people as well?
I did a lot of free stuff just to see if it worked, because I wasn't 100% how it would be. But I've been doing a CPD course with Jing online, and there's about 250 therapists, and we're coming up with protocols that are working really well. Actually, if I go back to that testimonial, I had some online testimonials on what I did. I fixed someone the herniated disc online. Here we go. So Eve has been a fabulous help, as during lockdown, I became unable to move my neck due to reoccurring debilitating injury. As I couldn't physically walk in somewhere and get my neck worked on, doing it online with Aoife's guidance worked to treat. She clearly explained and showed me how to self-treat over the period of a few weeks, giving me a simple routine each time to work my way back up to full recovery. She will certainly be coming back to me for the future. Now, she was in England. There was one point I had someone in Tenerife, someone in Paris, someone in the UK, and someone in Portugal online. And I did them all for free. I'm not doing them for free anymore.
Fair enough. Yes. I mean,
I know it works now. I'm doing probably 5 to 7 hours a week online with other therapists, working out what works and what doesn't, and changing our table time as such to online.
Yeah.
And it's really working really well. So yeah,
good.
I want to.
That's what we need to know. That's what we need to know. So people who can get to you in central Portugal, fair enough, but also you can work online, and presumably the way to find you, because there's nothing worse, is there, than acute and certainly chronic pain. So the way to get to you is through the same website if people want a consultation. Fabulous.
Yeah, or Facebook. I'm Aoife Brewster on Facebook.
Aoife Brewster on Facebook. Fantastic.
Yeah, I've got WhatsApp. Can I read one more testimonial, because I love this one?
Yeah, of course you can. And also, you were going to share a poem with us as well, weren't you, today?
Yeah. So I've got this. I don't know if anyone knows him. Rugby fans will know him. His name is Rob Scott. He's a former international rugby player, and he's one of my clients. And he wrote for me, from the stresses that build up through business life and from managing injuries, from an ex-professional sports career, Aoife's approach and treatments have had a major benefit to stabilizing and improving my joint and muscular pain relief. The Art of Unwinding brings to life Aoife's pain relief experience. The effect, content, and graphics engage you to why and how we can manage our pain relief at home. I highly recommend this book for managing pain relief. Now he is a lovely person. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, if you can work with like the brutal leftovers of a rugby career, you can work with anybody. And you've helped me out, because I'm going to be getting a copy of this for Mrs. M for Christmas as well. So I'm going to be buying one from you from your website. I hope you'll sign it for me as well.
Yeah.
And it's been wonderful to talk to you. Before we do the poem, we just got a couple of messages to share. What we love to do here is the show is not just for the expats who are already here, but people who want to come here, and actually Portuguese people who tune in as well to stay in touch with the old place. But Ken's just arrived. Look, we've been tracking Ken's journey. Portugal is beautiful, he said. Carl, I made it to Guarda last night looking for a rental right now. I thought I'd let you know. You're going to have to let us know, Ken, whereabouts in Portugal you want to be, and we may well be able to help. Get in on the Expats Portugal forum. Let people know you're looking for somewhere to live, and you may well get some help. He says, I'm stunned by Portugal's beauty. Photos and videos do not compare. Well done, mate. Love to you and your mum, and hope you're going to be very happy here. So excited for our move from the Isle of Mull, says Beverly. In Scotland next year to central Portugal. We came over in August to spend 10 weeks camping in our new quinta during the midst of the lockdown in the UK. It was so healing and amazing. Central Portugal is so beautiful. Thanks, Beverly, for that. And we're going to leave you on a nice high note now. Aoife, thank you so much for being here this morning, talking about your book, The Art of Unwinding. I think we're going to finish with a lovely little poetry reading now, aren't we, to send people on their way? All right, over to you.
Thank you for having me on, because I'll just go on when I do this, okay? It's been lovely. And thanks, everyone, for listening. So, okay. This is a poem by Elena Barnaby. Grandma, how do we deal with pain? With your hands, dear. When you do it with your mind, the pain hardens even more. With your hands, Grandma. Yes, our hands are the antennas of our soul. When you move them by sewing, cooking, painting, touching the earth, or sinking into the earth, then send signals of caring to the deepest part of you, and your soul calms down. This way, she doesn't have to send pain anywhere to show it. Are hands really that important, Grandma? Yes, my dear. Thinking of babies, they get to know the world thanks to their touches. When you look at the hands of older people, they tell more about their lives than any other part of the body. Everything that is made by hand, so is said, is made with the heart, because it really is like this. Hands and heart are connected. Masseuses know this. When they touch another person's body with their hands, they create a deep connection. Thinking of lovers, when their hands touch, they love each other in the most sublime way. My hands, Grandma, how long haven't I used them like that? Move them, my girl. Start creating with them, and everything in you will move. The pain will not pass away, but it will be the best masterpiece, and it won't hurt anymore because you managed to embroider your essence.
That is beautiful and so moving as well. Thank you very much for that. I'm sure people will want to be able to reread that. So we'll get in touch with you for the source of that. Aoife Brewster, author of The Art of Unwinding. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Been lovely to have you here. And good luck to you. It says Will. It's been a pleasure as always, says Tony. And Beverly, what you say about touch is what we've lost with COVID, the saddest thing about what's going on at the moment. But we can make good on that with that fabulous reminder from you today, Aoife. Thank you so much.
Thank you ever so much. Thank you. Lovely to meet you.
Bye for now. Thank you very much. Ciao, ciao. So there you go. There's Aoife Brewster, and to get the book and those lovely goodies, which I think I'm going to do. That's helped me massively. If only from a Christmas present logistics point of view. The Art of Unwinding.com. Go there to get the book and to find out more. I hope the poem's in the book as well. Just to let you know that tonight on the Expat Chat this evening, I'm talking to Josh and Callie, those expats everywhere people who you might have seen on YouTube. I have YouTube sensations with me tonight, and we're having an expat chat with them because they've ended up staying in Portugal, having been very widely traveled around the world. So looking forward to talking to them tonight. And of course, tomorrow night, our Ask Our Expats webinar, Portugal Calling. It's the Christmas quiz, one of Jerry's awesome quizzes, how people go about celebrating Christmas in Portugal. We have a quiz based around that tomorrow evening, and the wine club, of course, from just after 9 o'clock. Thanks for being here this morning. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Abraços, beijinhos. Hasta logo.